Hey guys, hope all is well. The second video I've done this morning, January the 6th. One I published on Facebook. This one will be published later, but I'm just going through my life and where I am as far as my ministry and what I've run from for so many years. And if you've listened to any of my other videos, some of the first ones that were kind of long, you'll notice that I talked about in 2017. I went into a valley, and there were number of things that happened that caused that. Um, One, I do believe was attacks from the enemy, and I was not properly prepared for that. Others where I've been involved in the human trafficking ministries, and I wasn't prepared for that. And it set me on a course where I was visually diagnosed with mild PTSD, due to not being able to handle it. And it's interesting that a couple of years after that, I had coffee with one of the founders of the organization I had worked with, and he told me that I was the first former law enforcement officer they'd had as a staff member, and that everyone that had come on since then that was former law enforcement had left because. And the whole thing is, as a cop, you like to be able to fix it and have control of things, and we can't do it. And when you're telling other officers at the time, and as human trafficking was becoming known, that you other officers are saying, we don't have that problem here, and you're seeing it, and nobody believes you because you're not a cop anymore. It's very frustrating. But one of the things that really set me in that valley, and I never lost contact with God. I just didn't talk to Him like I had been doing and like I am now. But because I didn't know how to anymore. I'd kind of lost that. But was a dear friend of mine. I remember being in Florida on vacation, and a buddy of mine's wife posted on Facebook, please be in prayer for her family, due to a tragic incident. And so I said, I always say a prayer, and I put done, and then I put it on my prayer list. And about 5 minutes after I did it, I got a call from the husband who I had been an officer with in Greenville. Melinda and I had served with him, and found out it was a dear friend of ours, and that he had committed suicide. And it really set me in a valley because of the fact that I had missed it. All right, I wasn't listening. I wasn't paying attention. So now, I've had a couple of friends who've said something on Facebook about having bad days and this and that and the other. I'm immediately like, "Are you okay?" Because it opened my eyes. Um, John and I had been discussing on Facebook through Messenger, and even had a couple of phone calls about faith issues and things like that. And he was really searching for that life with Christ. And one day he sent me a message, and just out of the blue, he said, "Kevin, I'm a mess." And I thought he meant faith wise. And I responded back to him. I said, "No, you're not." I said, you're no different than anybody else. You've got this. Let's keep talking and doing it. I really now believe, or did come to believe and still do, that John was telling me I'm a mess. I'm thinking about taking my life, and I need help. I'm reaching out, and I wasn't listening. I didn't hear it, and I still harbor. I don't want to say guilt, but there is some guilt there that I missed that total cry for help. Um, but it was a valley I had to walk into, and it was a tough valley, finding my way again with God. And you know, John helped make that stronger in the end. But yeah, so just don't be like me. If somebody says something that doesn't sound right, they're struggling with things, find out what they're talking about. Don't just assume they're talking about one thing when they could be talking about another. Now, he may have been talking about his faith, but I'm convinced he was telling me, "Kevin, I'm contemplating taking myself out of here, and I need to talk to somebody." And when I didn't catch it, it wasn't like I blew him off, but I didn't catch what he needed. It was almost like a green light. And I think about that often. That so when you're doing your faith walk, God's going to show you some things. Sometimes be aware, be awake, and be listening. Y'all have a good day. God bless.